Watch out now. Welcome to Gluality TV, where your glustamony matters. I don't know who you are or where you are in this thing called life, but I want you to know that right where you are, as you are, God loves unconditionally everyone, and it's our duty, live from Gluality TV, to give love unto everyone, even you, even me. That's Glue and caPri, baby. Where the glue out there, Glue Land? I don't know who you are or where you are in this thing called life, but I want you to know that right where you are, as you are. On this Tough Enough Tuesdays, God loves unconditionally everyone, and it is definitely our duty to give love unto everyone, even you, even me. And today we're going to give love unto the one and only, I like to call her Wildflower Whispers, because it's just something about that name that moves my soul. But this is Miss Karen here. And Miss Karen, welcome to Glue Land, love. I don't have a sound machine. And thank you for coming through today. And I just want to run by the people right quick with what I do with everyone is how I met you is at the one and only, the Olive Garden. And for those of you that have known me for the last 16 years, one way or another, I've been affiliated with Olive Garden. Either I worked there as a server, or when I wasn't working there, they were also continuing to help me feed the 757. So there's been different graduations that's happened across the 757s, or different promotions, different retirements, different events in the 757 that you all may not know, and some of you do know, that if you've had Olive Garden there, that was 9 times out of 10 by way of Glue and caPri. And that's simply because Olive Garden, when you're there, they treat you like family, and we've built a rapport over the 16 years. And when I meet guests that have a glunergy and some energy about themselves, and if we have a way of linking up outside of the OG, that's how we link up. So right now, if I've met you through the OG, I'm getting ready to make a huge announcement. I am getting ready to leave Olive Garden as a server, and Olive Garden is going to give me leeway to do a few things. So I'm inviting each and every one of you that I've served throughout the 757, be it at one of the places I worked at, like Riverside Behavioral Health Center, or a community event that I've been to, or if I met you at table 312, and that's where Miss Karen was. I'm gonna say Miss Wildflower. I want to just get the Wildflower and have you tell people about Wildflower. So that's my announcement for myself. 757 Olive Garden. If you've crossed that journey, if I've served you through Olive Garden or in the community, please come on through and let me love on you and give love unto you one last time as a server. Not saying Olive Garden and caPri or Darden restaurants are no longer glue-nected. We're just gluing up and growing up our relationship. So I appreciate you for being one of the last ones to come through Olive Garden, and I get to serve them. And thank you for letting me come and serve, allowing to be served here in Glue Land with your Glue interview.
All right, you're welcome. Let's get it going.
Let's get it going. Let's talk about it. Miss Wildflower, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from, if you don't mind.
Okay, so I'm from the 757, born and raised in P-Town. Live about 4 miles out of P-Town now. Have always been in that radius. Yeah, from Norcom, and just on a journey, just like you said, on a journey, on this journey of story healing. Looking forward to continuing to bloom. So that's who I am.
So, Miss Karen, we got to break this down now. You and I are familiar with the 757, and we know what P-Town stands for, but Blue Land has people all around the world watching us right now. So I want you to let them know where P-Town is, and in the 757, or in the 7 cities, where is it in the 7?
Okay, so in Virginia, in Portsmouth, and Portsmouth is on the south side, and we are on, connected by bridges and tunnels. So I'm connected to Newport News on one side and connected to Norfolk on the other, Chesapeake on the far side. But yeah, so we're surrounded by those cities, and it's a tight knit little space. However, one of the things that I like to see happen in the 757 is for us to build community. a chosen community, a community where we're coming together as Black and Brown people. And I'd also like to help bring out our creativity, bring some culture, some Black culture into the area, especially for those of us who are just starting in to share our talents with other people.
And I'm looking at your name, and I know so much I want to talk to you about in my brain. I really want to go through your bio and read segment by segment and ask you your questions from there, because it's some words that you say and some things that touch my glue soul that said I gotta ask her about that directly. But the first thing I want to ask you, because you're the first person to do this on the Chauntaundra caPri MaHaffey show, I see in parentheses you put she/her. As an LGBTQ member myself, I know what that means and why, and I'm appreciative of you for doing that. Will you please expound on your reasonings for having your what they call it, what you prefer to go by in those
Yeah,
parentheses?
yeah. In the parentheses, I have my gender preferences. I go by she, her. I'm a cis woman, and with that, it's for me, it's to show solidarity with people that, um, however people identify, that we should respect whatever they identify as. So I do that so that people will not make assumptions about me, but also so that I will not make assumptions about other people. So that's why I use my pronouns.
And it's tough enough Tuesdays. I have to ask you from myself, because that moves me, and I love it. What makes you tough enough to go against the grain? Because we were talking earlier about age and how things could be misrepresented through text, and we'll get on that in a little bit. But most women of our age aren't in that open space or place to be able to welcome us without even us asking to be welcome. You're doing it on your own, and you're letting us know that, hey, I accept you. And that's going to go more into the core. I want you to talk about why you're tough enough to be able to stand on your own and say, I support you.
Because I believe that we're all on this journey to discover who we are. Society, the patriarchy puts a lot of labels on us, a lot of things on us, and sometimes it is difficult for people to um, just be themselves. Be whole and complete in themselves. If I am a person that's out there saying that I want to bring community and bring unity, a community has never existed of just one type of persons. So a community is diversity. If you within the scriptures, Jesus Christ, we talk about the unity and diversity. So there's unity in diversity. There should be unity in diversity. That doesn't always work out that way, but that's how it should be. So if I'm asking my brothers and sisters to come, let's be together, let's heal together, I have to be willing to accept people wherever they at, because I'm not always where people think I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So it's an opportunity to open up and to be intimate, to teach people about one another.
In my world, that's glue, baby.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for you. You have no earthly idea how much I'm enamored of that, if that's the correct way of saying that word. Because in the freedom that I walk in, I want people to feel that freedom and to know it's okay. And when I see something like that, it's like, okay, people are changing. Everybody isn't
Mhm.
still the old way of being, where even though in we see in the news that they want to now get ready to take away gay rights after they just did Roe versus Wade, it feels as if the world is against you one way or another and taking you outside of what you've worked so hard to become. And when I saw that she/her, that just said, okay, we gonna be all right. It's gonna be a little fight. It's gonna be tough, but we do have supporters out there that we don't have to beg to support us. And you're
Right.
doing it on your own. Now I'm gonna let you take control of this, because I can stay in that element, because that's I believe that's the mutual journey that we walk on. We're just doing it in two different ways. Would you like to tell people about yourself in the core, or me read from your uh, bio that you sent me, the questions that come there?
I would be interested to know what questions you have based on the bio, and let's talk about it like that.
But let's get it going. Because I'm telling you, in reading it, it was number one, I'm a vocabulary junkie. So from one writer to another, um,
Okay.
when I saw some vocabulary that I haven't seen before, didn't know what it meant, didn't know how to pronounce it, and you make me go look it up. That's what I like being around, is somebody that can take you outside of the element of what you know. Knowing I have dyslexia and um, ADHD, autism things, is I want to incorporate it, and I'm one that has to write the word in the sentence 10 times and figure out how to use it. So I used to love that in school. So that's why when I saw your uh I was like, you want to say resume, but your bio. But let me see here. It was something when you said, Karen, I'm on a journey of discovery, a story healing journey. That number one in itself, a story healing journey, and I'm on it, lets me know you're in the process and you're healing as you go and you're sharing it. So that for me was like, that's what I call living the self-help project. That's what I'm glad to
There you
see.
go.
You're not waiting until you get cured or healed to give
Right.
your talents and your skills to other people. Then it said to accept my fact, my unique situation, and learn to master my response to the vicissitudes of life. When I saw, if I when I saw, I said vicissitudes. Hold on, I'm not gonna call my woman because she at work. I'm gonna Google this. I get excited, and I'm like, baby, I got
Mhm.
a new word for you. I want to read it to you. This and the third. I
Okay.
process it. So when I went to look it up, I was like, that's what I'm talking about. So tell
Yeah.
me why you use that word, what it means to you, if you remember learning it. But that sentence, I lost it for a second. Speak on that sentence for me, to
Yeah.
master the response to your vicissitudes of life, which means for me, don't tell your feelings how to feel. You tell your feelings how to feel.
Right. Well, so when I think about the vicissitudes of life, I actually think about Ecclesiastics in the Bible. You know, where Ecclesiastes, he takes us through all of these different situations where we see that life has a circular motion, and we go throughout these changes. So no matter what, changes are going to happen. No matter what, we're going to have good times, we're going to have bad times. And we have to master how we respond to them, because I can't control anything outside of myself. So my growth, I hope, would be to come to a place where I can learn to master the changes, my response to those changes, that I won't react the same way I did when I was 20, that I won't react the same way I did when I was 30 or 40 or 50, that I would respond in a different way. Um, and so that I'm gonna link that to the Whispers of a Wildflower, which is a manuscript that I'm working on. And in the Whispers of a Wildflower, we take you through the seasons of nature. We start at a winter. Things were harsh. We go to winter, spring, summer. Winter, spring. We go to spring. We go to summer. We go to fall. And then I have a little short section of an equinox, which is that shortest day, but that equinox just kind of bam punches us back to get us to know that life is a circular motion. We are continuing on that circular motion. So that's why I use that word. I love the book of Ecclesiastics. The wisdom that is brought out in that book to help us to understand that there's nothing new. Their changes are going to happen, and we have to adapt to those changes.
And it's weird when you said it's nothing new. We talked about this before. Our brand and our ideas sound the same. They're
Right,
just delivered differently. So nothing's new. And everybody has their journey and going through something. And you're absolutely right. Winter, spring, summer, fall, how you gonna get through it.
right. Exactly, exactly.
And let
Yeah.
me And let me see here, because I can go on now. It's on you.
Okay, go ahead. I'm
But
ready to respond. I'm
because I can
ready.
see your writing ability. When I read this, I felt like I was reading an excerpt from Wildflower, Whispers of a Wildflower. What's the name of your book gonna be?
Whispers of a Wildflower.
Yes, ma'am. I
Whispers of a
felt
Wild.
like I was reading an excerpt from that and not your bio. So it made me
Okay.
want to continue to read more and more about
Okay.
you. So let me see. My story, like yours, is the gateway to the truth that gives holistic liberation. I was like, my shit do that? I was like, okay, I received that.
Yeah, I think it does. You know that like if we would learn to embrace our stories, we often, or I can't say we, in my journey, I spent a lot of time focused on the negative, focused on so much of what happened to me and how that affected me and all of that. And I didn't take as much time to realize how that negative situation shaped me. And so when we start to embrace our story, that those things happen and it built me. I don't know why they happen. I'm not going to say, God this or this person that. I'm just going to say those things were allowed to happen in my life. And with the talents that God has given me, the gifts that He's given me, they have helped me to deal with it. So the holistic liberation is not just in my words, but hopefully in my actions, hopefully in my writing, hopefully in what I say, hopefully in what I do, that it comes out in all parts of me, my mind, body, and my soul.
And when you sit at my table in my section at Olive Garden, and no matter what form of business we're in, for me that's my intent, because I definitely
Right.
never know, that could be your last breath or my last breath, and I
That's
want
right.
us both to be liberated in that moment, because you just never know that, like we say, that no man knows the hour, and if that's it.
Hmm.
And I've seen someone in the restaurant pass away, and two of us
Hmm.
having to give CPR, so it's like,
Hmm.
that moment can happen, and I never know what's going on in people's worlds or their lives at that moment. So for me, like I tell everybody, on purpose with purpose, because you have a beautiful purpose. When you're walking in your
That's
purpose
right.
and you know your purpose, then go forth in your purpose, and everything that you need to get through it will be
Mm.
provided for you to get through it. So
Exactly.
when I saw that from you, you made me look at me as clear as I see myself. I got a little clearer. So
Yeah.
I appreciate
Hmm.
you for that. I'm gonna get to the next one. Let me see. These phones so sensitive.
Okay, so did you want to talk about, because coming from that, it says, gives holistic liberation from the internal terrorism
Yes,
that
ma'am. Oh,
distorts my defined purpose.
you better go ahead.
Um,
You're right. Yes.
yeah. So, when you talk about internal terrorism, as black folks, we deal with three things. We deal with being black in America. That's one of the things that we have to somehow reconcile and accept and understand who we are and love ourselves in spite of. Then the second thing that most of us have grown up, or well, actually, let me not even say most of us, because we live in America, we live in a so-called Christian nation that has, whether you believe in Christ and Christianity or not, your laws and the structure of this system is formulated around a Christian Protestant type world. And so, therefore, for the black person, there's some reconciliation that has to go on, because this same world said that it was okay to oppress us, and we see the fruits of that oppression now. And that's something that we've got to learn to overcome so that we can love ourselves. And then the third one, a lot of us deal with family trauma that we keep secret, that we don't talk about, that we're ashamed of, that we're still protecting predators and, all of that. And at the crux of it, at the end of the day, these are things that block us from fulfilling our divine purpose. Because what you do, like caPri, you're a server, but that's just what you do. That's not your divine purpose, And so we have to get to what is my divine purpose. Your divine purpose is connecting with people. Your divine purpose is sharing with people. So how do I get to my divine purpose outside of what my job is? And so that's what I go forward on in this little bio thing that I did.
It ain't no little bio thing, girl. I'm telling you, this is an
Yeah.
excerpt, and you're definitely a writer, because for you to throw that line right back in to help pick me up, I was like, dog, she better got a good memory. That writer's
Yeah.
mind. Let me see here. And then you said, what am I for? Who am I? I am for intimacy that renders me naked and unashamed before the Creator, God for me and creation. I am a wildflower. Talk about it.
Okay, so a lot of times when we think about who am I, and when people ask for a bio, I do send that as my bio, because typically when someone asks for a bio, we start talking about our accomplishments, the things that we've done, how many kids we got, how many years I've been married, all those things, and those are part of things that you've done, but they're not who you are. And at some point, for me, I had to separate that I wasn't just a mother, I wasn't just a wife, I'm not just an interpreter. I am this big conglomeration of something, of someone, of different things. I am an anomaly. I am, you know, good, bad, evil, all of that. I'm everything. And so Howard Thurman, a theologian that I just adore, he's long since gone, but a great theologian, he asked, what are you for? Not what you do, not what cause do you give money to, but what are you for? What is it in your life that keeps coming back? And recently I realized that I was for intimacy. It's been about 3 or 4 years that when I talk about intimacy, because of the abuses of childhood, I didn't know intimacy. And most of us, when we think of intimacy, we think of sex, we think of doing something, but I think of intimacy as exposing myself and giving you a space free enough for you to expose yourself. And so therefore we can see each other as we should be seen. And that's what kept coming back to me. I'm attracted to all these people. I'm a people person. Those things happen because I want the intimacy. Maybe it was the intimacy I didn't get as a kid. Maybe it was, but yeah, I want that intimacy. And then to be naked and unashamed before God, because that's how we were created. We were created, Genesis 2:25 says they were in the garden naked and unashamed. The shame in the clothing didn't come until sin came. And so if I can be before God just as I am, whatever that means, naked and unashamed. And when I speak of naked in this case, it is not a nudity. It is I can bare my heart. I can say everything that I need to say, or I can conceal it, or I can cry, I can cuss it, I can praise it, I can say it however it's on me, and know that I am accepted by the beloved, that he loves me, that it's nothing that he can do with there's nothing that I could do that would stop his love for me. Um and so that's what I look at. And so, like, I shared with caPri, for my 53rd ish birthday, I don't know, I think it was 53rd, 52, either one of those, it was a while ago. My sons got together and they paid for a tattoo. So on the side of my leg, I have a naked woman who is with child, and she does not have a head. Out of her head is wildflowers, lavender, and eucalyptus blooming out of her head. And so I say that I am a wildflower because um, wildflowers are those plants that just grow. They're not supposed to be that beauty out there in that vacant field, or if you walk down. I have a path by my house. If you walk down the path and you just see spots of flowers, beautiful flowers that just grow up, in spite of. So years ago, um, there's a movie, the what is it? I can't think of it. It's about the white people, but it's just something that is sprung in concrete, and then Tupac used that also. The rose
Concrete.
that grew out of,
It's,
yeah,
I
out
want
of
to.
concrete. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of when I think of myself as a wildflower. And I say that I bloom in and out of season because I've realized that what may seem like out of season for one person is in season for me, and what may seem like out of season for me is in season for the next person. So yeah,
That's a wildflower whisper, and I appreciate it. It's like, so yeah.
yeah,
And you say all
yeah,
that, and just so yeah. Like, I'm listening to you, and I'm ready for you to continue. I got stuck for a second.
yeah.
That's what
Well,
I.
I
Yeah.
no, I wanted to share a little poem that I have, that I wrote about who I am. So, who am I? I'm hijacking and trashing the labels that have restrained me. I drank the Kool Aid, but I didn't die. I woke up confused, but realized the lie. I'm not just a survivor, mother, nor a sister or brother, a sister or daughter, or my job description, or any combinations of labels. I am the little girl that they tried to deny. All grown up and pieced together, I am mystically beautiful, yet precariously free, becoming a woman I was created to be. Megan described me as a savage, classy, bougie, ratchet, sassy, moody, nasty. Lecrae said I was an anomaly, an outcast who deviated from the common rule, a particular, strange person that didn't fit in. Mary J called me a queen who sacrificed and got a lot less than I gave, carrying, gave lonely, carrying the weight of the world and losing to win, dying just to give it again. And you just don't know. And Chaka Khan called me every woman. I am every woman that that survival was all in me. I could cast a spell, sense a need, and anything that you want, I can get it done. New Birth declared that I was a beautiful wildflower, gentle and free, growing wild. And while Jonathan McReynolds encouraged me, loving me beyond my brokenness, inspired me to grow up and make my life worthwhile. So that kind of speaks to who I am. And yeah, so we have all these labels. I use the thing that I drank the Kool-Aid, because sometimes we go into our faith stations and places of faith, and we go into the labels of patriarchy and all of that labels that are ascribed to us, ways that I'm supposed to act, ways that I'm not supposed to act, and it may or may not restrict you. I love Megan Thee Stallion. She says she's all those things, and I think that's who I am. You might hear a Megan song, and the next song be a gospel song. But that's a part of who I am. You know, um, and I think more people are like that than want to admit it. Most people don't want to admit stuff like that.
That's why
You
we got.
know.
I love you. I love everything about you. Because for you to be able to say a gospel song and Megan Thee Stallion in the next one, music saved lives, and I want everybody to get it from one end to the other.
Hmm.
You got different sides to you that need to be saved in different ways. So listen to your music to get you
Hmm.
through whatever you're going through. You're absolutely right. And all of this is leading me to wanting to talk about your poetry pop-up. Would you like to go in that direction, or we can continue with reading from the bio? Is your
Okay.
what,
So
what,
the
what, what,
poetry,
what? Yeah.
yeah, the poetry pop up is going to be Sunday. July the 17th from 3 to 7 at Soul Good Restaurant. We are looking for, let me go to what we're looking for first, and then I'm going to tell you what we're going to give you. So we're looking for any poets, singers, writers, people who just might have something on their mind. With so much happening in the government, in the world right now, caPri, you spoke earlier about the rights of our Roe versus Wade, but then you also got to look at they were talking about gay, lesbian rights and all of that. But what we have to realize as a people is that they throw these big things out and they doing a whole lot of changing behind closed doors. Article with the Sixth Amendment, there's been a lot of changes about how inmates are getting their trials and whether that's going to be free or not. So, people, if you have something you want to say, if you have something that's been on your heart, we want you to come out and talk about it. I was recently in San Francisco, and they have such a cultural rich black community in San Francisco and Oakland, where every night for 7 days there was something cultural going on that just blew my mind, and at various venues. And I would love for us to start that here. So we're looking for poets, but we're also looking for vendors. There are people that are out there that make things, that sell things, that have a product, that have information that they want to share. We would like for you to come out and be a part of our vendor booth. You can contact me. I am on Facebook as Karen Anderson King. I'm on Instagram as Wildflowers underscore whispers. But yeah, so come out with that. But now what we're going to give you, we have two poets that are coming to us from behind the walls, from behind prison walls. They're going to be speaking. They're going to be sharing some of their poetry. We have myself, I'm going to be sharing poetry. I think I have one confirmation from a young student. So we got poetry that we're going to be sharing. DJ Leon Gray is going to be spinning records to give us a mood, to keep a mood going on. And then also we're going to have Miss caPri there. Miss caPri is going to be there asking you some questions, getting into yourself. We're going to have a photographer around. So come looking good. Don't come looking shabby. And then, of course, So Good Restaurant, the food. They're going to have an open menu, open bar, and they also do hookah there. So, it's going to be a good vibe, and so we want people to come out and just feel good about themselves, to nourish your soul, because it's a lot of things that we're going through, and we just want to give you a little to get you through the day and to let you know that you're not alone.
I appreciate the invite and for you doing this, because this is a time to, I guess it's the song in my head, say express yourself. It's a lot going on. And instead of walking around emotionally constipated or emotionally diarrhea, whatever you're going through from one end of the emotional spectrum or not, words help to find your emotional balance. And I thank you for giving those of us that express ourselves through words a platform to come to. And as I was reading your bio, that's what it was feeling like. It was like your wordsmith was like an invitation to just express yourself and let it come out. Let it get all of the writings out. It made me want to sit down and write more myself. And I was like, do I need to write something for this? It did that to me. So even in that bio, now we're going to say an excerpt from your Wildflower Whispers upcoming book. That is pivotal. I do want to share this comment that we have. Is from Rebecca. Hey, Beck. She said, I'm going to show it on the screen. She said, this is powerful and thank you. So thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca.
For making this powerful, Miss Karen. I told you together we'll be glue. We're on the same page and we have something for the go ahead and get it. We have something for the people. And are there any glue words you want to say to the people before we let you go?
I just want to say that the key to life is learning to overcome fear. Fear affects us as Black folks in two ways. Some of that fear is that fear that has us paralyzed into these little boxes. Those boxes that say, well, I know what I can and can't do because I don't want the man or I don't want trouble. And so that's a fear. And then we also have that fear of just being ourselves, being who we are, how we are put together. And the only way to overcome that fear is you must love yourself. If you do not love yourself, you can't go beyond. The other Sunday, I was having a conversation with the people that I fellowship with in a church setting, and we were talking about this fear, and they were saying, "Well, Jesus just knew who he was, and he didn't. Jesus didn't care about what other people said. That's why he was able to love everyone." Well, while that is true, he also knew who he was, and he loved himself. And he knew that men did not affirm him. And so that's where we have to be. We have to start putting affirmations up. If you can't see around my space because I have it blocked off, but I have words all around me that help affirm who I am. I have cards up. I got a card on my monitor. I am a strong woman who feels deeply and loves fiercely. I am Black history in the making. I have things around me to affirm who I am because some days you get up and the world is not going to see you. So the key is to love yourself. Also, with the core, we're going to be starting a book reading. I am doing a shameless plug now of Bell Hooks, all about love. We're going to start reading that in August. Come join us. Again, you can hit me up on Facebook, hit me up through Miss caPri, hit me up on IG. But I want our community to come together and heal. So that's my glue because as one, we can come together and we can show the world how we were created divine and creative. And we can move our people, ourselves, our family, our legacy beyond what we could ever think, ask, or imagine.
I'm gonna just say, go
Thank
home.
you.
The doors of the church are open. You don't say that. Just
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
what I want, things I did not ask you were what song gets you through. We talked about Megan Thee Stallion, but we didn't name a particular song that gets you through your tough times with it being Tough Enough Tuesday. What makes you tough, and then with all of your colorfuls and your styles that I keep telling you about your physical vibrations through your outfits and stuff. Tell us a little bit about your flamboyancy and personality.
Okay, so my song right now is Mary J. Blige, Good Morning Gorgeous. Okay, because sometimes you have to get up and you got to look in the mirror and tell yourself a lie that you're gorgeous. No matter how you feel about it, you got to tell yourself that to get yourself going. I think the reason why I'm so tough, if you will, is because when you grow up in a broken home and you realize that your parents loved you, they loved you the best way they could, but it was broken, then you realize that you have to survive, right? And so I spent 40 some years surviving. But at this point in my life, I am at a point where I realized that I was created to live. I was not created to survive. I was created to live, to have life and have life abundantly. And so therefore, it requires me to do that hard work, that inner work that people don't want to do. We want to just arrive there. We don't want to do the work to get there so that you can enjoy it. I have a lot of material things, but I realized that I didn't have happiness, and so how do I move beyond that so that I can feel good about who I am? And so that's what makes me tough. My style, that came from the story healing journey. I had a girlfriend who about 15 years ago, maybe, I used to dress like a little boy. No offense to anyone, but I have three sons. I was the only girl, and I just wore my kids' clothes. We were broke at that time. A lot of that was that reason too, but it was also comfortable for me. And one day she asked me, could she put some makeup on me? And she said, like asked me, questioned me, do I realize how beautiful I am? And she bought me a skirt and she started showing me how to shop for me. And what I realized that as a black woman working in the school system, working as a sign language interpreter, people don't see me the same way they see my white counterpart. And so I have to lift myself up above that. And so I dress with purpose. I dress to look good, to feel good, and to be me. I've gotten out of the constraints of religious box of what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, because I know that I'm not going nowhere showing anybody my private parts, and so my beautiful legs, God gave them to me, and so I show my legs. People talk about you wear your arms out. I got big arms. I got a big body. I would look stupid if I didn't have big arms. So I show my body. I show who I am, and I try to be someone that people can look to and say, she's doing it, then I can do it. And that's why I come the way that I come.
And you come with it, boy. I call it full figure flyness. I love it.
There you go. There
Yes,
you go. Yeah.
ma'am. And Glue
Yeah.
Land, any last words you want to give before I close out? I know I asked you this before, and we piggyback, and I don't want to rob you because I
No,
can just tell we can go on.
we could go on for hours.
Yes, sir.
But no, I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. I do want to remind you guys to come out to Soul Good Restaurant in Portsmouth, Virginia. It's on Hodges Ferry Road. Um, I think it's 1805. Don't hit me in my head if I'm wrong. But
It's Soul,
come
Soul
out.
Good Restaurant and Bar, 1805 Hodges
There you
Ferry
go,
Road.
Ferry Road. Yep. So come on out. You're gonna hear some good music by DJ Leon Gray. DJ Leon Gray only plays on the vinyl, so you get to hear that real sound. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Miss Capri being out there. I'm excited about going out to So Good Restaurant. One girl hit me up on Facebook, said, "Can't wait to get them shrimp and grits." Because they make the best shrimp and grits out there. Just want you to know, but they're going to have an open menu. You'll be able to order. They also have vegan options. And I want you to let you know that because a lot of my family is vegan. So they have vegan options. So I look forward to seeing y'all. Let's pack the place and show the world that Hampton Roads does have culture. Thank you
Mm.
for this opportunity, Miss Capri.
That's Glue, baby. Glue Land, thank you for saying yes, first and foremost, Miss Karen. And Wildflower, thank you for bringing all of your glue energy here. Glue Land, please make it take the glue time. I know you saw the ticker at the bottom of the screen. We're definitely accepting cash donations at cash.app. That's Glue Baby to continue to glue up the 757 for the paintings that we make for those that we work with, for the travels that I make going to give and get glue interviews. You all know Glue and Capri is all over the 757 and doing a lot for the community. So we definitely welcome your donations at cash.app / that's $ that's Glue Baby. If I've interviewed you
Mhm.
before and you want to give another glue interview, please sign up so we can get a glue update from you at that'sgluebaby.com. If I've served you at Olive Garden in the last 16 years, please know that this is going to be the last month that I'm serving, not month because it's July 31st is coming up. Maybe 2 weeks into August will be my last time at Olive Garden, but I'll make sure to announce the date and some other events that we have coming up so that you all can come out and say, uh, see you around Hampton Roads. We'll figure out the title, but definitely come out so I can have one last meal with you at the Olive Garden. And One last thing, Carmen Haskins' book, Secrets Kills. We talked about that before early in the night about family trauma. So please make it take the glue time to check out Miss Carmen Haskins' book, Secrets Kills, wherever books are sold. And you can also look her up on Instagram under Pink Solutions. In the meantime, in between time, Blue Land, be you be great. Start your upper movement today, for tomorrow is not promised. Please get yourselves tested for HIV and know that no matter who you are, where you are in this thing called life, I don't know if it's Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, but whatever is making me over says, let the people know that God loves unconditionally everyone, and it is definitely our duty to give love unto everyone, even you, even me. And Miss Wildflower, I appreciate you for allowing us to give love unto you and you to us. Will you tell everybody that's Glue Baby?
That's glue, baby.
Miss Wildflower, baby. See y'all soon. Love you, love, and
All
thank you for
right.
your time.
Mm-hmm.